Congratulations to Bemidji. That's the first time this entire season where there was, at the end of the game, we weren't within a goal when that final buzzer went. I think we had one where a team scored an empty net goal on us, but a one-goal game where we were playing for it, so it was kind of foreign territory. You guys saw as well as I did, though. They're big guys that we had to focus on. We gave them some gifts. We gave them some gifts with some bad turnovers, and they capitalized. I believe that they were involved in all 5 goals. I think they were involved. So big boys came to play tonight, and congratulations to them.
Halfway through the game, you got a 1-0 lead. Things look like they're pretty good. What do you think changed at that point?
Well, it was a bad turnover for their first goal. It's still a good game in the third period. We're getting our chances. We had some really good looks at the net in the first period and just missed the net. And we said it before. Now this wasn't the case tonight with them, but we've had games where we have absolutely outplayed them. Last year in the playoffs, we outplayed them twice pretty significantly, and same guys scored their goals. The same guys. They're hockey players that scored their goals. So. We had 2 big turnovers. The one that really, I think, changed it was the second one. That giveaway made a nice breakout play to the middle, put it right on, I think that went on Irulo's stick, I think, and then, had no problem putting it in the net. So that was the one that really hurt us, and then we made another mistake shortly after to give them the 2-on-1 at the blue line. Just not smart hockey by some individuals. And again, comes down to playing your best when your best is needed, and that's what we prepare for all the time. You have to go through guys. You can't go. You can't. You're not trying to outscore them. You're trying to get your chances, but defend well, and that's how the game has to be played. Playoff hockey's like that. You have to defend. And defend first, and check, and take care of the puck, and do those little things. And I'm not sure we did that. But again, they're top guys. Everything else being equal, head to head, their top guys were awfully good.
What was the rationale behind having an extra forward instead of a D-man with the loss of Buckley tonight?
Well, we also had Mosley out, if you saw that. So, Mosley's out, Goetz is out, and to be honest with you, we don't know which guys, as the game started, we don't know which forwards are going to give us some balance. Now, Soretsky went out during the game as well, right before they got their second goal, and that probably changed things a little bit. Didn't have the confidence in our depth tonight that we had at other times, and we feel better that we could play our D more, they can log more minutes than trying to get by with trying to create some lines. You know what I mean? Like we have with Bots out and Mosley out, it put a big hole in our lineup. We have, and it was a 1-1 game in the third, but that was rationale. We can get by better we needed the depth up front for a while there, because as you saw when Soretsky went down, that really changed. That's when it changed, but we gave him that change with the turnover. So, that's part of hockey. Did I answer that for you?
Was there any momentum loss when they came back and made it 1-1 just instantaneously? Yes and no. We got through that one. We got through the end of the period, and but yeah, you kind of. But I didn't feel it on the bench where it was still 1-1 game. The one that took the sales was in the third period when it went 2-1. But still, we pushed back. They just I don't know what the scoring chances were in the game. I don't recall Blake having to make a whole bunch of tremendous saves. He made one glove save in the third. Do you guys recall any? I don't recall. They were just. But the goals, when they get the shots, they score. And they do that all the time. Owen Sillinger's got near 50 points tonight, 45 going into the game. He probably was in on every goal tonight. Probably got an assist on every goal. That'd be 50 points. He's probably leading the country in scoring or second in the country in scoring, and he did the same thing last weekend against Bowling Green. That line did. So, it was big boys against big boys tonight, and their guys don't need that much to score goals. They get a look, they score. Again, I'm not saying we had a ton of scoring chances tonight, but I don't recall them having a whole bunch of them, but the ones they got, they put in the net, and that's what they do. They did the same thing to us last year in the playoffs. So,
Coach, you've had 3 playoff games now. Brian Hallinan still doesn't have a point. What do you feel like's going on with him? I know we kind of talked about it a little bit in different points, but what are you seeing in his game?
well, he's got a lot of distractions, and that's that's just if he would have gone through, NHL interest and stuff a year ago and came back for a year, he'd handle it differently. Like if he had offers a year ago and had opportunities a year ago, he'd have gone through that experience. I mean, this is the first time he's really, looked at the end game. Now I don't, So yeah, it's again, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to they were able to, Brian's an all-league player, 45, 46 point guy, and has had a bit of a dry spell. But I think it's distractions. I think it's not that he's not trying, not that he's looking for something different. I was talking to a good friend of mine, Darren Madeley, this past week. I think you and I talked about that, and we were talking about this, and he said, my sophomore year, because he signed after his junior year, he said, my sophomore year, that's when I fought it. Like it was hard. My junior year, when I came back, I knew I was signing. It was, and winning the national tournament, but he just played. It's that first time through it. Bliss is going through the same thing to some degree, I'm sure, distractions. So.
Speaking of the pressure, do you see it as advantageous then, since they get 2 weeks off to try to reset and kind of center themselves going into the national tournament scene?
Well, I hope we get in the tournament. I hope we get in. So right now we're letting this thing settle in. We'll take a few days off. They'll have the selection committee. As every game goes by, we'll have a better picture as to what opportunities we have. But it's not going to hurt us. It's not going to hurt those guys. They're still playing. They're still playing for Michigan Tech. They're giving what they have for Michigan Tech. It's just handling the. It's always got to be always on their mind. And if you have trouble dealing with that, plus on top of school and on top of this, what's going to happen next week? If we don't get in, am I going to sign on Wednesday, and is classes in order, is everything? So that's maturity. That's going through it. But the other side of it is people want to see you perform in those environments. They want to see you perform in those environments, like perform when it's on the line. That's what everybody wants to see. Like tonight, I come out of it, and all things being equal, I'm signing Owen Sillinger. He's the first guy to take out of that game and sign him. You know what I mean? He competes hard, won battles, scored when he had to, put up points, made plays, defended, looked a lot like Braden Point out there from Tampa Bay. So,
if Tech does make the national tournament, going off of the previous 3 playoff games that we played, and not necessarily playing up to what fans would expect necessarily, high-scoring games, a very good defense, where's your confidence level right now going into like a Loveland and Allentown, Albany, Worcester?
well, I mean, we're humbled right now. We're humbled right now for the reasons you said. We're humbled right now for the reasons you said. There's we need to get performances out of, you need to have that. And when, one game off is one thing, 2 games a month straight is a little different ball of wax. So it's given a lot of other guys a chance to play. But, you have to look at how, we have a lot of seniors now. Bemidji had a lot of seniors too. But we have a lot of seniors. Caro is a senior. Goetz is a senior. Sawyer's a senior. You want them to be all playing their best hockey right now. That's what
That's really what you're after, and they're playing, you know. And again, it's a 1-1 game. You know, do we expect more? Yeah. But bottom line is, everything they shot went in the last, and they had good looks at the net. But not, you know, they're good players, and they don't need much. They're pros. You know, if I'm an NHL guy, like if I'm looking at the two teams, I can see translation from what I saw from some of their top three guys, right? I can see translation. Play with pace, play fast, opportunistic, right side of the puck, blah, blah, blah. And I would probably come out looking at it in a realm something like, you know, how does this translate? Especially if they're here for every game after game for the last month. How do they translate? And that's what's on our players' mind. So when you're talking about my confidence doesn't matter, I have confidence in our team and what we do. But the confidence is in the players that need to perform. So a couple days off will probably help. We may know better tonight, or we may, I mean, who knows? We may jump to 14th tonight in the pairwise, and then you can, you know, it was a good year, you know. So.